What's up YouTube, Dal here from Zephyr War Games, and today we are going to do, as we do every week of a new product release, and we are going to talk about whether you should buy or not to buy the brand new Legendary Duelist Synchro Storm. So, Legendary Duelist 8 Synchro Storm hits our shelves in 2 days' time, and basically it is a Synchro support version. It does introduce us to Fleur the Baroness. It also introduces us to a Necrofleur, alongside Lyrillist support and Speed Voice support, and a brand new version of Clearwing, which is also available as a Ghost Rare. So the question is, when it comes to Legendary Duelist sets, are they worth buying? And the overall kind of look, when you look at the past sets, you look at stuff like Legendary Duelist 6 and you look at Legendary Duelist 5, I believe they are. So one of them introduced us to a Dusted Gold, which is about a £70 card, not to mention Liquid Soldier and of course Malicious Bane. You then look at Legendary Duelist Season 6, or Legendary Duelist 6, and it introduced us to Magician's Souls. We all know how expensive those cards are. Why are they so expensive? Well, when you look at what they actually provide and what they support, they are, of course, slightly meta-relevant in the cases of Magician's Souls, but also fan favourites in the form of a Dusted Gold and Malicious Bane that take the specific decks of heroes, in this case, up a level. So, when you look at Legendary Duelist 8, what do you see? Is it going to be like the Legendary Duelist 7, the Rage of Ra, or is it going to be like Legendary Duelist Season 6, Legendary Duelist 6 in the form of Magician's Souls? Well, the answer, quite simple on that one, is no. It's probably going to be a little bit more like Rage of Ra, just a tad bit better. And the reason I say it's a tad bit better is because of the Baroness. And the Baroness is the chase card of this particular set, and I will put the picture up on the screen for you. So this is the card that a lot of people are chasing. It is incredibly powerful and it works with Soul Swords, which is why people are after it. Keep in mind, when you also look back all the way down to Legendary Duelist 1, you can see that a lot of cards that are ultra rare printings do demand a high value of money. You look at stuff like Ancient Gear Fusion, you can also look at stuff like Red Eye's Baby Dragon, and all of the other cards like that, because they are fan favourites in specific anime related decks, they are sought after. Now the hopes are that with a set like Rage of Ra, because they reintroduced Ghost Rares, more product was being purchased, which then made the individual prices for these Ultra Rares a little bit lower, and overall I think they did. When you look back at Legendary Duelist 7 with the Rage of Ra cards, apart from, I believe it is Ancient Chant for Ra, all of the cards were relatively cheap, and what I mean by that is they were between like 10 to 15s at max. But when you look back at previous stuff like Ancient Gear Fusion, we're sitting around 40s, and then you also look at stuff like Magician's Souls around about $100. You look at a Malicious Bane, $60, and then you look at a Dusted Gold, nearly $100, about £80, and you also look at Liquid Soldier, which is about £60. But they obviously have a very kind of close relationship to the main protagonist decks throughout the series. So let's go into the set in general. So what does it introduce us to? Well, it introduces us to, I believe, and I'm just going to double check this, it is 9 new ultra rare cards, 8 super rare cards. You should be getting around about 7 super rares per box, and you should be getting around 5 ultra rares per box. What does that mean in terms of ratios? Well, yes, sadly you can get duplicates of the supers and of course the ultras from a single box. So that does mean you can get 2 of an ultra that you really, really want, or you can get 2 of an ultra or a super that you really, really don't. So that is the gamble that you do pay. Each pack retails at around about £1.75 a pack, and the boxes can range anywhere from about £45 all the way up to £55, depending on where you are purchasing this from. Each box contains 36 packs, each pack contains 5 cards, and each card guarantees you to have a rare. So that is the ratios when you're looking at it. Is you look at 5 ultra rares, it technically works out at, I believe, just over 1/7. Was it 5? So 31 packs will not contain an ultra rare. So that's kind of what you need to look at. Is you've got a very slim chance. So even though you get more ultras and more supers, you're getting more packs. In terms of value, if you were to just buy a handful of the packs and pull an ultra rare, you might be able to make your money back. I would like to say that with a set like this, all the ultra rares will be about £10 or more. And then you look at stuff like the ghost rare. If you were to pull that, I believe it's going to come down, but its pre-order price is currently sitting at about £100 to £120 here in the UK. So it really is a little bit of a risk depending on what you're looking for and what you're after. So leading on to that, as an individual, is this a set for you to buy or not to buy? Well, as an individual, unless you are planning to build your Speedroid specifically, your Lyrilusk, or maybe even trying to build a Fleur deck specific, no, it's not. It's quite simple as that. I bought a box in order because I wanted a couple of little pieces, and of course I wanted to open one for the channel. But when I look at it, I didn't actually want a lot from this. Yes, it could be quite difficult to build a Lyrilusk deck because I believe it does contain 3, if not 4 ultra rares for its particular requirements, and all of them are needed at between 2 and 3, depending on whether you get the extra Z, whether you get the main deck monster, or you get the spell, which basically gives them a free special summon or a foolish burial. Go figure. So if you want Lyrilusk, I would probably say a box might be worth getting because you might get duplicates of what you need and then buy the odd little bits. But if you're only interested in Speedroids or, of course, ghost hunting, then that's probably where you'll be better off just buying the singles. Now, in the Rage of Ra set, Ra was, of course, a God card. It was the first God card that we got as a Ghost Rare. So it did demand, and of course it was the first Ghost Rare we had seen for a long, long time, it did demand a £300 price tag on its release. With this new Clearwing variation, I don't believe that its price will stay high. When you look at Ra, you can probably pick up a first edition one for about £200. And like I said, if the pre-orders of this Clearwing is about £100 to £120, I actually expect it to drop to about £70 to maybe £80, depending on the progression, because ultimately it's not a God card, so it doesn't have that basis of fan following to kind of collect. The only basis that are going to want the Ghost Rare are going to be those that are Ghost Rare collectors, and even then, because I think so many of these boxes are going to be opened up to get to that specific Ghost and to get to the Ultras, all of the prices are going to fluctuate and go from there. Like I said, I think the only Ultra Rare that is going to be slightly relevant because it fits in Soul Swords will be the Baroness. I feel that the Lyrilusk, because it does make the deck more playable, will be a little bit of a chase as well. But I do not feel that they will deserve to be anywhere above £15 mark. So depending on what you're trying to get a hold of, rather than rolling the dice, it might be worth gambling on one box, see what you get, and then pick up the singles. But it's not a set that I would highly advise getting a case, especially if the ghosts are going to be 1 every 2 cases, and then it just makes it a little bit more difficult to pick up. So that's it. It's a very short, sweet, simple video, straight to the point of whether you should buy or not to buy. Now, like I said, a set like this appeals to different ranges. If you look at Legendary Duelist 6 and 5, I would have 100% say, yes, go and get them. You want the Banes, you want the Dusty Golds, you want the Souls. Whether you're going to play the decks or not, because they provided support for, obviously, Heroes and Dark Magician, arguably 2 of the biggest fan following decks in the whole entire genre of Yu-Gi-Oh, then they were a set you would be buying in the caseloads. But when you look at Legendary Duelist 7 and 8, sorry, I don't think it makes the decks nearly as playable. I don't feel that the cards within them are incredibly broken, and I don't feel that the ratios are stacked in your favour. I mean, at the end of the day, if you get a broken box and pull 2 Baroness, you're laughing. But the chances of that happening are going to be very, very low. So it really depends on what you're after from the set. As I say with all of the stuff, it's always worth buying one box if you are interested in multiple cards from it and you generally like to open up product. The other downside of this particular product is it does come out officially 2 days before the Burst of Destiny pre-release event. And Burst of Destiny, I may tell you now, is an insane set looking to stack up loads. There is so much good support. It introduced us to 2 brand new competitors in the form of Soul Swords and, of course, the Fleur de Lis, that there is a lot to actually want from there. So is it worth spending up to £55 on a box prior to Breakers of Burst of Destiny, where you could just save that £55 to get the specific cards you need from that, which would be a much safer investment in my opinion. Other than that, I hope you like this video. I will be bringing you some updated videos from some product openings. We will try to get the builds for this particular set, but like I said, it's very difficult to do unless you are investing heavily in the sets, and the only reason you would invest heavily in sets like this is if it does have the draw cards, such as, of course, the Magician's Souls and then a Dusty Golds and Banes. To me, they are the 3 most standout cards of the entire Legendary Duelist kind of range, and kind of go from there. As absolutely always, guys, stay safe and, of course, happy dueling.